Alright, back again, Luke here. And today what I thought we could do is a bit of a repair video. It's been quite some time since I put one of these up, and I thought maybe we could do this one here, and hopefully if someone has similar problems with this board, it'll be able to help them out. The board in question here is SNK, as you can see on the side here, and this is Prehistoric Isle. This is a board that I wound up getting about 9 months ago, and I apologize here, but I did take some pictures, so I'll use a lot of pictures here as reference points throughout this video, not to show you exactly the repair in person here, but just to show you some of the things that I did with it. As you can see here, this is the board that I wound up buying, and if you notice, you'll see that it says it's 100% working. Well, when I got the board here, it was anything but 100% working. When I first turned it on, there was nothing but graphic glitches and everything was off, like the colors and things like that. And I'll show you guys some pictures here as we go through. So one of the first ones, this is how it started up when I first got it. And you can see the monsters here, different colors, the background graphics were gone. These graphics here, as far as the text and everything, were missing. And you can see it's basically just a mess. The guy, I contacted the seller and asked him about, what was up with the board. He said that he had stored it away, and when he put it away, it was working, and he had thought it was still working. And when he sold it off, when I got it, it was not. So I just told him, look, I really don't need a broken board. I was looking for a working one in this time. Normally I'm looking for broken ones, but this time I was looking for a working one. And this is a board that I've always wanted to play and have. And he said, okay, so let's cut a deal here. So he wound up, giving me back partial payment for it. And I told him, okay, that's fine. I'll just keep it and work on it and see what I can do. Well, 9 months later here, I've been trying to work on this board on and off for quite some time. As you can tell by the pictures here, once again, here's another picture. You can see the background graphics here. They're just all everywhere. And one common problem with these boards, especially this board that I've noticed, and I've seen other people talking about it, is that they rot. And a lot of the traces, especially on this board, wind up getting eaten away. And that's exactly what had happened with this one. Give you another shot here. It's a picture of the background. To give you an idea here, this background picture should be solid, but it is, patchy. There's some lines in the background. So I went ahead and I started looking over the board, and when I did, I was able to find several eaten away traces. So we'll take a look at that right now. This board here is a 2-layer board, which makes it 10 times more difficult to work on than just a single layer board, because with a single layer one, you can kind of pinpoint what the problem is. With the dual layer ones, it could be anything. We're talking ribbon cables, connectors, it could be the top board, the bottom board, you never know what's going on with this thing. So what I did is I started going over this board and seeing what I could find, and let's see if I can flip this over. It's not gonna be a really easy way. The conclusion that I came to here, actually maybe I should open this thing up so you guys can take a look at it. Some of the things that I've done so far, I just got this thing working today, so I'll just kind of cut to the chase and let you guys know. Broken traces here, here. Another broken trace here along this point. Another 2 broken traces here, and there is another one somewhere, oh yeah, underneath this connector, which I had to repair. I had to remove these 2 connectors, which, if you can imagine, they are a lot of solder points on that just to get those off, and they were extremely corroded, which makes it 10 times harder to remove. But even after all that, removing all of those points and cleaning it up, putting all these patch wires in, I was still only able to get this thing halfway working again. So to give you an idea, see if I can show you guys a picture here. And I apologize for the pictures, but these are the best things that I can use right now as far as reference points, because it has been over a long time that I've been working on this. But after taking and patching a few of those traces, you can see here that this has a bit more foreground graphics, but the background graphics are still gone. And eventually, after probing on this board, let's see if we can find some more shots here. I was able to kind of pinpoint that 2 of these, let me see if I can show you here, 2 of these mask ROMs. This one was labeled PI8914. This one was actually bad. Although it looked okay, you can probably see this is some remnants of bugs and whatnot that was underneath the chip. And the chip still seemed to function, but there is one pin that is floating on it. It's not making contact, and therefore I was getting those background graphics. I could never fix those background graphics, so I constantly kept putting this thing away because no matter how hard I tried to fix the traces, if we go back here and take a look at this again, you'll notice down here, especially in the bottom, there's kind of dot marks, like a dot matrix scheme. The ground, the backgrounds, it's got a bunch of lines in it as well, and the top as well. And other ones following that, here we've got background once again, which has a lot of kind of lines going through it. Now this board, after spending lots and lots of time on it, I was able to get it much better, but you can still see there were quite a few problems with it. Lo and behold here, I wound up finding the problem. With these graphics ROMs, there's two of them, major graphics ROMs. The graphics are on the bottom board here. And one of those was the PI, 8914 that I had shown you before. And that one is located over here. That's on the far right. This is responsible for the background graphics. The other one here, which I had also removed, although it was working or seemed to be working, was the PI 8916. And the main reason why I removed this is the foreground graphics, and I figured that since this one was already gone, there's a high potential of this one to go as well. I had to also reburn two different chips here, although they didn't seem to change at all. They were totally eaten away, and that was GT11 and GT15. But after getting all of this put back together, and after getting those two ROMs burnt for this, those two mask ROMs, I was finally able to get this thing working again. It took a lot of testing here. Like I said, it's been 9 months here since I've tried to get this thing to go and turn on. Just today, I wound up getting this thing working, so thought we could make a video on it, and I still need to put the screws back in it. But let's take a look here. We'll fire this thing on, and show you guys here. This is my most convenient monitor, so it's just easy for me to turn on. But as you can see, we've got background graphics, and there's no dots in the background. Looks good. Foreground graphics, no problem here. Everything's looking normal. And then when we jump into the demo part of the game, you can see in the background here, all of our trees are back to normal. Top part, sky is back to normal. And this board is fully functioning again. But to be honest with you, this board, you know, when I had picked it up, I thought it was in a 100% working condition. And unfortunately, the condition that it was in was really, really rough. If I had to go back and do this again, it would just be such a pain, because trying to pinpoint a problem with the traces is one thing, but then on top of that, having the mask ROMs and, you know, trying to wonder if is it RAM related and the dual board stuff, it's just really, really difficult. So make sure you get some pictures of stuff if you buy it online and see if the seller will give you some pictures. And here's the background that I was showing you before that is kind of cleared up now. But see if you can get a lot of pictures here from the seller before you wind up picking something up, because even though it looks like a static image or something, you know, that was taken and it says working, it's not always the case. Luckily for me, the seller was really cool about it, and here I am eventually getting this thing working. I'll finally be able to play this thing after almost a year, but hopefully if you guys are having any trouble with this particular board, I definitely recommend checking out the traces, especially traces around these connectors. These connectors also sometimes go really bad over time. They get corroded, the pins on the inside get bad. And on the other side here, the graphics ROMs, like I had mentioned before, these are the two graphics ROMs for the game, and if you wind up removing those, these aren't normally socketed, so I wound up socketing all these chips here just to try and make testing a little bit easier. And some of it was, you know, RAM chips and whatnot. But yeah, definitely check those out. check these connectors around the side here, and hopefully, if you're lucky, you'll be able to get this board back up and running again. So, a little bit of a long video here, but if you guys have stuck on till the end, then fantastic. But just want to share with you guys a little bit of a look at this repair video that I had done up here for Prehistoric Isle, and hopefully we'll be able to do some gameplay on it here soon. But that's about all for me for right now. Like always, I'll put up another video here soon, so thanks for watching. Pop in a couple credits just you see the graphics here are all back to normal as well. And our island is back to normal, not like a red mess. But yeah, I'll try and get some gameplay video up on here. You can see our background perfectly normal there. So, give it a shot here soon. This is ridiculous playing with one hand, but nonetheless here, I'll catch you guys here soon. Take care.